There's a photograph. A man standing in an empty garage. He is 41 years old. He is wearing the same jacket he wore to his company's best year. He is holding 3 cardboard boxes, the only things he chose to keep when the bank came for the rest. His name is Marcus Webb, and this is the day his life ended. Or, so he thought. I need you to stay with me for the next 10 minutes. Because what happened inside that garage, what started with nothing, not even hope, is going to change the way you think about the worst day of your life. It changed mine. Marcus Webb did not come from money. He came from work ethic. He started his construction company at 29 years old with a single truck, a borrowed trailer, and a handshake from a general contractor who took a chance on him. He built things with his hands. He built a business with his decisions. By 38, he had 22 employees, a house with a backyard his kids played in on summer evenings, a name that people trusted in his industry. He had built something real. And then, 2008. You probably know that year. The housing market didn't slow down. It didn't soften. It collapsed overnight like a table with no legs. And Marcus's entire business sat on that table. 3 major contracts evaporated in a single month. Clients who owed him hundreds of thousands of dollars filed for bankruptcy themselves. The phone calls stopped coming. The invoices stopped being paid. And Marcus kept his people employed for as long as he possibly could, maxing out every credit card, draining every account, because they had families too, and he knew what it meant to be responsible for someone else's livelihood. He held on for 8 months. Then, one Friday afternoon, he called all 22 employees together in the parking lot. He looked each one of them in the eye. He shook every single hand. And then he drove home and sat in his driveway for 2 hours. He couldn't go inside. He didn't know how to be in that house anymore and pretend that everything wasn't gone. I want to pause here because this is the part of the story that most people rush past. The garage, the boxes, the feeling of sitting inside a life that used to be yours and not recognizing any of it. His wife had left 6 months earlier, not because she didn't love him. She did. But grief does strange things to people, and they were both so deep in it that they had stopped being able to find each other inside it. His kids were with her. His business was gone. His savings were gone. His credit was destroyed. And he was 41 years old, sitting on a plastic chair in an empty garage, wondering how a man builds 20 years of something and watches it disappear in 12 months. Here is what I want you to understand about rock bottom. It is not loud. Movies make it dramatic. The breakdown, the turning point, the moment of revelation. In real life, rock bottom is very, very quiet. It is a Tuesday afternoon in a garage with no cars in it. It is the absence of sound where a life used to be. Marcus sat in that silence for 3 days, and on the 4th day, he found a notebook. He didn't open the notebook with a plan. He opened it with questions. What am I actually good at? Now what do I own? Now what have I built? What am I? What is in me? That 20 years of work revealed. He wrote for 4 hours, and what emerged, slowly, from those pages was an answer he hadn't expected. People. Marcus was extraordinary at understanding people, at knowing which foreman belonged on which site, which subcontractor could be trusted under pressure, which crew could hold a deadline, and which one needed more supervision. Over 2 decades, he had built a mental database of skilled tradespeople, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, welders, hundreds of them, all of whom knew Marcus and trusted him, because Marcus had always been straight with them. He didn't have money. He didn't have equipment. He didn't have a building or a truck or a single contract. But he had his word, and he had his knowledge, and he had a secondhand laptop and a prepaid phone. And on day 5 in that garage, Marcus Webb started making phone calls. What Marcus built was a staffing company for skilled trades. No office, no staff, no funding. He connected construction firms who needed workers with tradespeople he knew personally, and he charged a placement fee for every successful match. He operated entirely from that garage on a secondhand laptop. He slept on an air mattress at his brother's house. He ate peanut butter sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner for months. Not occasionally, months. His first deal took 3 weeks to close. It earned him $800. He said later that he held that check for a long time before he deposited it. Not because $800 was going to save him, but because it proved that the thing in his notebook was real, that there was still something in him that worked. He reinvested every dollar. He worked 7 days a week from that garage, in a house that wasn't his, on a chair he'd bought at a thrift store for $4. Month 2, $1,100. Month 4, $6,000. Month 8, 8 months after the garage, after the boxes, after the driveway he sat in because he couldn't go inside, Marcus Webb crossed $60,000 in revenue. He sat in his car that night and cried. He is not embarrassed to say that. He cried because $60,000 is not rich. It is not a comeback. It is not redemption. But it was proof. And proof, when you've been sitting in a garage with 3 boxes, is the most important thing in the world. By 2015, 7 years after the garage, Marcus Webb's company had 300 active placements across 7 states and was generating $3.4 million annually. By 2019, they crossed $10 million. He bought a house, nothing flashy, a good house in a good neighborhood with a backyard. He called 2 of his original 22 employees and offered them jobs. They both said yes before he finished the sentence. And every year, every single year, without fail, on the anniversary of the day the bank came for his house, Marcus writes a check, not to charity in the abstract. He finds a specific family in foreclosure, a specific family who is sitting exactly where he sat, and he makes sure that for one of them, the floor is a little less hard. He doesn't do it for the story. He doesn't do it for the credit. He does it because he remembers exactly what that day felt like. And he decided a long time ago that nobody should face that floor alone if he could help it. Marcus Webb is not a superhero. He is not a genius. He is a man who lost everything. His business, his marriage, his house, his certainty, and chose to sit with a notebook instead of surrendering to the silence. He asked a simple question: what is still in me? And the answer was enough. If you are in your garage moment right now, if you are sitting with your 3 boxes in the driveway you can't leave, in the silence where your life used to be, I need you to hear this. The story is not over. It has barely started. The worst chapter and the first chapter could be the same page. If this story found you today, that is not an accident. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not because we need the views, but because somewhere, right now, someone is sitting in a garage, and they need to know that Marcus got up.